how can you tell if something has cells? That's the big question we're looking at today. You're going to use a microscope or a video that's used a microscope, and you're going to look for two organelles. The first organelle brings glucose and oxygen into the cell and releases waste. What organelle do you think that is? Looks like this. It's a noun. It's like the outer packaging. It's the cell membrane. The second organelle you're going to look for sends messages to make more cell parts so that more cells can be made. It's this one right here. It's often called the brain of the cell. It's also a noun. It is the nucleus. Cell membrane and nucleus can often be seen under a microscope. These are yeast cells, right? That outline, here's an individual cell. They're all clumped together here, but here's an individual cell. Cell membrane, cell membrane. These are sugar, right? Glucose is a simple sugar. Here the sugar is broken down into glucose and the cell membrane lets it into the cell. That's what's happening here. The cell membrane, this is the official definition, brings glucose and oxygen into the cell and releases waste. It lets into the cell what the cell needs and it gets rid of what it doesn't. That's the point of the cell membrane. Okay. On an animated diagram, it looks like this. Here's your cell membrane. Here's a little 3D demo.
Here we are at the cell membrane trying to get in. If we are lucky enough and we're small enough, like this H2O molecule, this oxygen molecule, and right under here, the glucose molecule, we get past the cell membrane and into the cell. Well, what do we do once we're in the cell? Woohoo, party.
Okay, so that's the cell membrane, letting things that the cell needs into the cell. Need to know it again. This is cells, actual cells, I think these are blood cells, under a microscope. Which one do you think is the cell membrane? Which one do you think is the nucleus? Cell membrane is that outer edge, right? That kind of clear, thin line. Lets things in and out. The nucleus is in the middle, the big dot. And these things can often, with the microscopes we have in school, can often be found. What is the nucleus?
Here is the star of the cell. The star is the energy, but this big purple dot is the nucleus. This is like the brain of the cell. This tells the cell what to do.
So that is the nucleus. That's the end. Now you're going to, in your tasks, you're going to go and look at cells and see if you can find, either you're going to use videos or microscopes, and look and see if you can find the cell membrane and the nucleus. And your learning log is to label them and explain what they do. Good luck. Have fun.